The end of the year always has me thinking about the future, the big games that could or could not pop up next year. Hey there friends, it's Codiak here. Welcome to Legacy Gaming. Today, I want to cast your minds to an upcoming title and talk about what's going on with Fable. Like so many, I have fond memories playing the original Fable. The game, created by Lionhead Studios, was pushing the RPG genre forward, creating one of the most innovative experiences of that era. As time went on, Fable 2, Fable 3, and then some ridiculous spin-offs no one remembers were released, but it's been over a decade since a truly new Fable RPG was put out there into the world. That all changed in July 2020, when a teaser trailer for a new Fable experience was unveiled. Since that trailer went live, we've learned practically nothing substantial about the game, but there are a few rumors and quotes flying around that I think will shed some light on a game that will most definitely grab headlines when the time is right. Keep in mind that this new Fable game is created by Playground Games, the team behind Forza, and only Forza. It's a wild genre pivot from racing to RPG, but you can't doubt the skill of the Playground Games team. In one of the few public quotes about the new Fable game, Phil Spencer, head honcho of Xbox, says that players should take confidence in Playground Games due to the pedigree of the team. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I've never once played a Forza game. Racing just isn't in my blood, so when I heard that Playground Games was going to take a crack at a new Fable title, the pieces just didn't line up. That doesn't mean they're not capable of making a great game, just that they don't have the track record to back up Phil's confidence. Let's be clear though, just because you've made a great game doesn't mean you'll make a great game in the future, and as we've seen time and time again, resting on your laurels is deadly in the gaming world. Case in point, CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077. Playground Games does have one incredible ace up its sleeve, Forza Tech, the next-gen engine that powers Forza Horizon 5 and is said to be powering the new Fable game. If you haven't seen the engine in action, just take a look at some of the video playing in the background now. This is all captured in-game, and I mean, yeah, if you can't tell this is beyond stellar, then you might need to get your eyes checked. Imagine this engine in Fable, and then envision the world of Albion coming to life looking like this. Powerful tech is just one piece of the puzzle, an important one, but a piece nonetheless. So let's dive a bit further into more of what we know, or kind of know, about the game. One of the biggest rumors swirling around the development of Fable is that the new installment in the series could be an MMO set in the Fable universe. This news was first revealed by French journalist Chrono TK, someone with seemingly deep connections to the Xbox world. On the surface, that sounds pretty awesome, a Fable MMO. I don't think a single fantasy nerd would be opposed to that idea, but whether or not that's actually the case is something else entirely, and presents a whole array of new obstacles and challenges, most of which the Playground Games team hasn't experienced as a studio. MMOs of any kind are easily the most resource-intensive types of games to make, and even with near-limitless funding, that doesn't guarantee you'll have a successful game long-term. Just look at the quick rise and subsequent fall of New World to see the most modern large-scale example. What makes this all the more interesting is the very first supposed leak about the game, which actually took place back in 2019 before the teaser trailer was revealed. A now archived and locked Reddit post on the Xbox One subreddit went largely unnoticed in the grand scheme of the platform, but it included a number of wild details, some of which I think many of you will find interesting, such as first and third person mode, an in-depth character creator, completely open world, no guns, options to ignore the main quest, the ability to construct towns, multiplayer, and all of it built on the Unreal Engine. Now that last one is interesting because, as we already said, we have Forza Tech to consider, but you never know, Unreal Engine 5 could be a player here. Now if we really look at this list, it's pretty much boilerplate stuff. That is to say, vague and could apply to a number of upcoming games we don't know much about. The lack of guns thing, though, is interesting. Many diehard fans of Fable were not happy that guns were introduced into the series back in Fable 2, and even less happy when they had a more prominent role in Fable 3. So to see that specific bullet is interesting, given the community's general dislike of that weapon type. Outside of that, you could apply many of those other ideas to other games, like Avowed, and they'd still be somewhat believable. The leaks didn't stop there, though, and the main premise of the story was also apparently revealed in that same post, and I'll admit, it's interesting. Albion and Aurora are gone, lands reduced to fables. The Spire was rebuilt and used by a mad king to wish that an asteroid would strike the planet. He also wished it would happen again in the far future. eons later and everything is new and you have to stop the destruction of the planet again. Teresa and the Heroes Guild are preserved on another planet via a demon door, time travel is heavily involved in the gameplay, and Jack of Blades returns. Leaks are fickle things. On one hand, I want to believe everything here, but on the other hand, information delivered via an anonymous source so early in development is hardly reliable, so take everything with a huge grain of salt. That being said, if all of this does turn out to be true, it'll be fun to look back and think, hey, that leaker was onto something. If you know the series, then you know first and foremost that this sounds wildly different than anything else already established. The idea of moving between planets and warping time are new concepts in that universe, but if the team is looking to kickstart the reintroduction of Fable into the general gaming conversation, big ideas are going to be part of that equation. Still, the idea of Albion being blown to pieces is a bit sad, as I'd love to explore the world with current-gen technology, but again, these are leaks and things change, so who knows? While the original Fable game was a success, the company behind it, Lionhead Studios, was always in some state of flux. Following the release of the first game, the studio was purchased by Microsoft, who helped usher Fable 2 and Fable 3 into existence, but at that point, the luster of the original game had slightly worn off and the ship was starting to sink. Peter Molyneux, the studio's head, the man who helped bring Fable to the world, was once an icon in the gaming world, but in recent years, his fall from grace has been nothing short of spectacular, now pushing for blockchain games, which, let's be clear, is awful. While the studio doesn't remain, the IP does, and that's honestly the most important thing to Microsoft. Nearly a decade after the release of Fable 3, I think there is the idea that nostalgia will help catapult the next game when it's ready to launch, and I don't disagree. A new Fable game done right could be massive. You've got name ID, a big name studio, and Microsoft-level funding in your corner. It just remains to be seen, at least at this point, with so many unknowns, if all the pieces will come together. I'll leave you all with a quote from Aaron Greenberg, the central manager of Xbox games marketing at Microsoft, who said this about Fable. To put the Fable franchise and give it a completely fresh start in the hands of one of the greatest game developers in the world, and also right there in England with Playground Games, is sort of a dream come true. While all signs point to a release still years away, I would bet money that we're going to see and learn more about this game in 2022. A few years removed from the start of development, and after a teaser has been released, I think the marketing efforts will slowly start to ramp up. What that looks like, well, I can only speculate, but I would imagine a few interviews and possibly a new trailer are all feasible in the new year. Anyways, friends, I'm a huge Fable fan, and I can't wait to reacquaint myself with the universe once again. While we still don't know much, you better believe we'll be covering anything we learn about the game here on the channel, so if you like Fable and you want more Fable videos in your feed when the time is right, do me a solid and hit that thumbs up and subscribe. You can also join us on Discord. We've got a great group of around 7,000 spread across dozens of games, so check out the link in the description to join today. Finally, if you like everything we're doing here at Legacy Gaming and you want to support us even more, you can do so by becoming a member. For just a couple bucks, you're helping evolve the channel and take our community to that next level. Check out the join button below to learn more. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.